Hey, what's up guys? Ben at Bayside Fabrication here. It is Monday after the Burnout contest and I am back at the shop and I pulled the plugs yesterday. They looked okay. Car starts right up and everything. It was still running a little bit rough, like it was down a cylinder, so I might be leaning towards a coil or maybe an injector. But before I do any of that, I'm gonna just run a quick compression test while I have the spark plugs out, just to see where it's at compression wise, just to make sure everything's fine in the motor before we start going any further with things. But I'm gonna do that right now and we'll see what we come up with. $200, all right. So we just did our first cylinder. Cylinder number 1 is 195, cylinder number 2 is 200, and we're gonna go through the rest and see what it looks like. Well guys, that's good news. We're pretty even all across the board between 195 and 204 is the highest I got in cylinder number 6. So look, the compression's looking great, so we can rule that out. So I'm thinking, along with Luke, it's probably a coil, or maybe one of my injectors is kind of getting funky. But either way, not a big deal. So that's good news. Did you guys see how blue these freaking pipes turned? It's ridiculous. Oh, and the only carnage that I saw, other than that, I know when we came off, I had some oil on the intake manifold. My freaking power steering reservoir looks like it cracked open or something. But yeah, I wasn't happy, so I wound up pissing oil or power steering fluid down the body here. But that's a junkyard. Christ, I might have one of those lying around. But yeah, it looks like it cracked right in the cap here. So we'll pick one of those up for a couple bucks. Not a big deal. We'll see how things look. I'm also gonna inspect the wiring here. You can see the harness there, got a little bubbly. So I'm gonna pop that off and just make sure no wires are melted together or something like that. That would obviously cause us an issue. And we'll take it from there. All right, I just put the spark plugs back in, and now I'm going to put my coils back in and fire her up and see how it sounds. I was talking to Luke. He said, maybe I hung an injector open or something, but we're gonna we'll find out. We'll find out what the problem is. But being the compression is perfect, the motor's fine, and it's not making any weird knocking noises or anything like that. So, just another tip: keep everything in order. Like I don't know if you saw, but I labeled my spark plugs with my coils. I just put them, in line with their respective cylinder. That way, if there is an issue, you know which one. You're not going and swapping around cylinders and stuff. And if there is a bad coil, you're not moving it down the line and rotating the problem around. So we're gonna throw it back in, get the car out of the trailer, and see how she sounds today. All right, one more thing I'm gonna do is just test the fuel pressure. Just rule out the pump, and fuel pressure is right on target. Okay. So these are just a couple diagnostic things that are very easy to do that just eliminate a few things. So now I know the fuel pump's good. I know I have perfect compression on all 6, and then we just work our way from there. We'll fire it up now, see how it sounds, and take it from there. If I just made the car a little upset. Banging it off the rev limiter for 4 minutes. transmission feels a little messed up. So right now, third gear. Feels a little weird going. It's like there's some resistance to it. First, second's fine. Fifth, fourth seem fine. I'm gonna check it out. Maybe there's just a, it doesn't feel like it's a gear issue, but it could be. Guys, it's running great. I don't know what the issue was. Maybe it just wasn't happy. I mean, honestly, it could have been a bunch of things. That turbo being super hot and stuff, so. All right, guys, I'm just checking out the underside here. Just kind of doing a general assessment, make sure everything's still cool. So far, I'm looking good. The transmission was going into third. It just felt a little tight doing that. So I just came down here to inspect, make sure I didn't have any crud hung up in the linkage or something, but I may. When I freaking, I did some heavy freaking dumps in third and fourth gear. So I might have ground the piss out of it once or twice, and it's not happy with me. So I don't have time to do it today, but I'll probably pull the fluid out, see how that looks, throw some fresh trans fluid in there, and see how that does. But we'll address that in a little bit. I got some orders to deal with today, but everything else looks good. You know, like I said, just general assessment. I think we're fine. So now that we got that out of our system, it's time to go drag racing. I'm getting my drag radials put on tomorrow. Speaking of tires, dude, look at these. I can't believe these didn't blow. We were close. We were certainly close, but man, I think the car's just so light. It was just skating around, really. I mean, you know, I wasn't producing a ton of smoke or anything like that, but with such a light car and so much power, it's just kind of floating around the burnout pad there compared to other people. And also, who knows, these tires, you know, they're freaking old and junk, so maybe the tires are just, I don't know what the hell they're made out of, but they definitely held together pretty well, all things considered. But I mean, I think we're looking good, man. Everything's looking pretty all right under here. All right, another thing I just did was drain the catch can here. It was pretty much empty before, but that's fairly normal from what I'm seeing. So nothing weird there. Oh, one thing I wanted to show you guys. I wasn't sure what this was at first. I had this oil spot back here. Turns out the breather on the diff, it probably just puked a little oil out that. So that's what that is. I was curious at first because I have my radiator overflow here, but the car never got hot. So I was like, what the heck is going on over here? And yeah, it turns out that's just a little diff oil that came out when the shenanigans were ensuing. All right, so the car's looking pretty good. There's a couple things I do want to check out. You just see I took the top off here. Looks a little more proper, a little more Kartish. There are a couple things I want to check out, and there was a problem I was having before, and it kind of came back, and I'm not sure what's going on. Luke's gonna take a look at it for me, but at idle, And like when you first start it up, and it doesn't matter if it's cold or warm, it runs like really lean for a minute, and then it dumps back down to being normal. So it'll just kind of run like crap for like 30 seconds to a minute, and then get back to normal. And it doesn't do it every time. It's kind of like intermittent. So I'm not sure if it's an injector, so I might pull the injectors, have those cleaned and tested next door here for the performance. And you know, check the coils, make sure, you know, the coils are good. But I'm not quite sure exactly what the issue is, but it's not really a big deal. So next step though is I'll probably do a little loop-de-loops in the cul-de-sac, blow these off, really finish them off. And then Jonathan next door is gonna be mounting my drag radials, and we're gonna go drag racing. So that's the plan now. So we did our burnout contest, that's fun. Next we're gonna go drag racing, see what this thing can do in a quarter mile. So I'm not really nervous about that, but I think it's gonna do pretty well. I mean, I think we're gonna be hauling some ass at the end. So we'll see how that goes with those tires. I do have a spare set of axles, which I might need because I got 275/40 Nitto drag radials. So it's a big tire back there. So I'll have those on, and then after we do our drag racing thing, the final rendition of this car is going to be in drift mode, and that's probably where we're going to leave it. So I have this kind of angle kit I'm going to put together. It's kind of a budget kit that uses E46 control arms, and I'll have to make a extended steering rack linkage, but that's kind of the plan. So we'll do that, and man, this car is going to be kind of a jack of all cars by the end of the deal here. So you know, I think drifting is going to be the most fun. I really enjoy doing that, and I really want to get better at it. Drag racing's cool, but man, you just have to have so much money to be competitive, and it's one of those things, you know, you go through all this work and do all this stuff, and you're legit out there for what, 10-12 seconds pass, then you're done. So I'd rather do something that's a little more driver oriented. And yeah, so we're just gonna keep plugging away. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.